here is a question 7 from the 2025 Junior Cycle Ordinary Level Maths exam. It says in this question, each shape has a fixed value. Okay, in the first part, work out the value of a circle using the following equation. So we have an equation with 3 circles. Okay, so and we need to find the value of each circle. So for example, if we just maybe start, if we just say that each circle has a value of x, or for example, this is x here, and another x is here, and another x is here, and that gives me 21, the addition of all of them. So what we can say here, we write down x plus another x plus another x. That gives me 21, and this means that we have 3x on the left side, and then that gives me 21. And if we divide both sides by 3, we get, x equals to what? 21 over 3 is 7. So that's the correct answer for the first part. So you can say here 7. And in the second part, it says work out the value of a triangle using the following equation and your answers from the previous part. Okay, so we know that the value here of the circle is what? Is 7. So we maybe just write down 7 for the circle, and we have another 7 here, right? And here we have, maybe you can say x. Okay, so we write down the equations down as like here 7 plus another x plus 7 equals 18, right? So 7 plus 7, we have 14. So we can say maybe x plus 14 equals 18. Okay, and if we subtract 14 from both sides, we get what? We get x equals to 18 minus 14, and that gives me an answer of 4. So the answer should be what? Should be 4 for this part. Okay, and in the second part, it says 2 equations are shown below. Work out the value of a hexagon and the value of a square. So basically we have 2 equations, okay, and we need to find the value of the this shape, which is the hexagon, and also the value of this shape, which is the square. Okay, so to simplify the work, what we can do, maybe we can just assign each shape to a variable. For example, here what we can say, we can assign a variable x, okay, to this shape, to the hexagon. Okay, so here we have x, and also we have another x here for the second shape, and also for the y, we can assign the shape, to another variable, for example, y, right? So also here, it means that in the second equation, we have also y plus, x, okay, equals to 13. So now what we have got, we have now got 2 simultaneous equations. Okay, and we can solve those 2 equations to find the values of x and y. Okay, so here maybe it's better also to call this the first equation as a. So here we have a, and also the second equation as b, right? So we say just a, from a, what we have, x plus x, that gives me 2x, right? And then plus y equals 24. So that's the first equation. And from b, what we have just y plus x equals what? 13, right? So now to solve these two equations, what we can do, we can subtract, for example, the second equation from the first equation. Okay, and we can do that by multiplying the both sides of the equation 2 by minus 1, right? And then we add the 2 equations together. Okay, so what we can say here, we have maybe 1 minus 1 here for the variable y, and also that for the variable x here, we have also minus 1, and also we have here minus 13, right? So now we can add the 2 equations together, right? Like this. Okay, so as you see here, that if we take the first term of the first equation and the second term of the second equation, we can get what? For example, here you can see 2x, right? 2x minus x, and that gives me just 1x. 2 plus minus 1 equals to 1. Okay, and also the second term here, we can say maybe y, right? Plus y minus y. Here we have 0. Y minus y equals 0. And also from about the right side of the equations, we have 24 minus 13, okay, which is 11. Okay, so what we can say here, we say what we get, which is x. We have only x. Okay, if we add those two equations together, we have x equals to what? 24 minus 13, we have 11. Okay, so now we can say that the value of x is 11, and basically it's the value now of the hexagon, right? So we can say here number 11. Okay, and about the second shape, maybe we can use the value of x here and substitute it into one of those two equations to calculate the value of variable y. Okay, so for example, maybe you can use the second equation here. So what we can say using, just very simple, using, right? Using b, for example here, right? And what we can get if we say y plus x. X is 11, we know that, and equals to 13, right? And if we subtract 11 from both sides of this equation, we get y equals 13 minus 11, and that gives me what? The answer is 2. Right? So the value of the variable y is 2, which also represents the value of the square. Okay? And also maybe we can use, to compute y as well, we can use also the first equation, which is a. So for example, we can say here something like this. Okay? So, and that should gives me the same answer, right? So you can say using, right? Using a here, we have x plus y. So we know that x is 11 plus another x, which is also 11, plus y equals what? 24. And we know that that should gives me what? 22 plus y equals 24. And if we subtract 22 from both sides, we get y equals 24 minus 22. And that gives me an answer, y equals 2, which is also the same answer. Okay. And here are the marking notes of Q7. And in the first part here, we have a scale of 10C, meaning that we have 10 marks with 4 subcategories. Okay. And we may get 3 out of 10 if we have the first part correct here, the first part here correct. Or we show, work of merit in the second part here. Okay. For example, we substitute the value from the first part into the second part. Okay. All right. And also we may get 7 out of 10 in the case of high partial credit. Okay, if we have the first part correct and, work of merit in the second part, we should give this one of them, and this one should we give the correct answer. Also, we some work of merit in the second part. Or also we have second part correct based on incorrect answer from the first part. Okay, for example, if we here wrongly computed the value here, instead of 7 we compute maybe 1, and if we substitute 1 into this equation and we get the value of the triangle, the correct value based on this, the wrong value here, then we will get the high partial credit. For example, if we say 1 here, and then it should, that should be 1 plus a triangle plus 1 equals 18. So if we say triangle equals 18 minus 2, then we get 16. If we get 16 the value of 16 here, then we will get the high partial credit. Okay, that's for the first part. And for the second part here, second one, we have a scale of 5C, 5 marks with 4 subcategories. Okay, we may get 2 out of 5 if we have, you know, show some work of merit in the, you know, for example, we substitute values that work in one equation. Okay, not both of them, one equation only. And we may get 3 out of 5 in the case of high partial credit. For example, we find the value for one shape only, for example, either for the hexagon or for the square, the correct value. Okay, in that case, we will get the high partial credit. And basically the 5 is the full mark when we give the correct answers for the, you know, for the 2 shapes.